If you've been following the channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a big advocate for FPGAs and FPGA mining, and I have quite a few myself. And something that's happening is IronFish has decided to fork to a different algo, basically temporarily at least, kick off FPGAs off of their network and remain ASIC resistant. And currently I have a couple Osprey E300s that are on IronFish. We need to make a decision on what we're going to shift to. So we are on Mining Pool Stats, and you can see in the event calendar, at the time of recording of this video, we've got 11 hours until the IronFish fork, which basically means if I kept my FPGAs on IronFish, in 11 hours I would no longer be hashing to pretty much any blockchain, and I won't be earning anything. So we need to make a decision to move them to a different chain, whether that would be Kyla Coin, Radiant, Alephium, Etika, any like something like a ETC, because we do have the bitstream for that. And if you followed me recently, you know that I did create a profit switcher for the E300s, and that's actually what has put me on IronFish, because it currently is the most profitable coin. If we hop on over to a calculator, now this calculator isn't exact, it's a combination of my FPGAs, which are different chip types, but we can kind of see IronFish right now is profiting me around $13 a day, with Alephium being the second best at $10.50. So we are going to see a significant drop off, and in addition, all this IronFish hash rate is going to move somewhere. So there's currently a petahash of hash rate, and a bulk of this is most likely FPGAs. And so all that hash rate has got to funnel to either Kyla Coin, Radiant, who Radiant has a halving coming up as well. Actually in like a couple weeks, I think. The Radiant halving is in 17 days, so just over 2 weeks, and that block reward's going to get cut in half, obviously, but it's a big cut from 50,000 coins a block to 25,000. It's their first halving, so that's going to impact profitability a substantial amount, to the point where we can see that revenue is 534. It's going to drop down to like $2, $2.15, around in that range. Plus a flood of hash rate, we could see Radiant almost go negative, potentially, in earnings with the bitstream. So this will be interesting to keep an eye on. Alephium's got a little bit more wiggle room, but likely we're going to see the bulk of the hash rate flood to Alephium, and we've already seen a little bit flood into Kyla Coin. We'll likely see some more. And so what I'm going to do is I looked at this and I decided, you know what, I'm going to let the profit switcher dictate what it mines. And the big reason I'm doing this is because I do have different chip types, and the profit switcher can take that into account and make sure that each chip is on the best algo for it. So we've been running this profit switcher for a while, and so all we need to do to adjust this is a quick changeover. Now I'm going to do the changeover now. Realistically, I could wait another 10 hours. However, we're just going to go ahead and make that change now and see what it switches to. So right now, if we hop on over to my E300s, this is the VU35P, I believe. Yes. So this is a VU35P. And you can see right now it is on IronFish. We are using unminable to swap to Litecoin. And the 33 is the same thing. So they're currently both on IronFish. So we're going to hop onto the system that I have the profit switcher running on. Which is actually just a HiveOS rig. And I believe we installed this into a folder at the root, I believe. Yes. So at the root of our drive, we have this Osprey profit switcher, and there should be a config file in here, which is this miners.json. So we're going to go ahead and do a nano on that file, and we're going to come in and we're going to disable IronFish. We're going to leave all the other settings there just in case we do get another Blake 3 coin spun up that is that Blake 3 IronFish variant. So we'll just go ahead and leave that to false, and we'll scroll down to the VU33P, and we're going to disable IronFish on this one as well. And now we could wait for the next hour mark, which is about 12 minutes. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the job itself. So to run this, we're just going to do a .NET space and run the run the DLL rather. And this is going to attempt a profit switch, so it's on the VU35P first. And it's doing its profitability checks, and it is most likely right now changing the voltage, and you can see it changed to Lithium with our projected profit to be $5.67 a day on the VU35Ps, and on the VU33P we'll let this finish running, and we'll see if it switches to, it also switched to Lithium with a projected profit of $3.10. So this will continue to run every hour. Kind of checking that profitability with our threshold that we have. Let's just verify the threshold is still 15%. It is. So the next coin would have to be 15% more profitable than the coin that we're already mining. So we're going to go ahead and let this run. Let's just hop on over and validate that it did indeed switch. And we can see we are now running a Lithium on the 33. And we are now running a Lithium as well on the 35. And right now these are most likely still rating the bitstream. Just pop that open and validate the log. And there you can see it is still rating the bitstreams to the card. And this one has just finished programming. So they will begin hashing here any second. And we are now hashing on a Lithium instead of IronFish. And we're just going to go ahead and let this run. And ideally, we just kind of want to stack a Lithium if we can. If not, I'd like to stack some more Kyla coin. Wouldn't be mad about Kyla coin at all. I did sell near the top with Kyla coin last year. And so I would kind of like to accumulate some more. And I do run a Kyla coin pool, so always advantageous to provide some hash rate to my own pool. But we are kind of looking at profitability on the FPGAs right now, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. I do use my FPGAs to cover my power costs monthly, so I do like to keep around, if I can stay around that $10 a day, that is ideal, because it does fully cover my power for the whole month. So that is nice if we can stay within that range. So that's what we're kind of dealing with right now. We have switched over. They are working on some new bit streams for some of the modern coins. So hopefully we get those and we can kind of get that FPGA hash rate dispersed evenly across the coins. Losing IronFish was a big deal because IronFish gave us a spot to spread a lot of hash rate. So we'll just play it by ear. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on the hash rate across all of the FPGA centric coins. With Radiant right now at the recording of this, we've got 84 terahash on Radiant. If we take a look at ELF, we've got 392 terahash. And Kyla coin, we have 2.8 terahash. So these are kind of the numbers that we're dealing with. What I'll probably do is in a few days, we'll probably do a follow-up video just to kind of see where a lot of that hash rate has landed. And just as a reference point with Iron, we were at 1.1 petahash, actually 1.15 petahash effective. So that's kind of what we're working with. Obviously that won't translate fully, but we can derive hash rates for the VU35P, VU33P, VU13P, and VU9Ps, as well as C1100s, the TH53s. They're all derivable based on the hash rates that we know all of those chips get. So we do know that we are going to see a flood of hash rate coming in. And if you take a look at the chart, you can actually see that people have started pulling off in preparation for this switchover. In fact, it did drop below a terahash, or below 1 petahash earlier today. So that is what we're working with. We're going to keep an eye on this, and there will be a follow-up video to talk about the impact that we're going to see to all of these other FPGA mineable coins now that we're losing IronFish.